Okay, I'm going to break you into the first progressions for the push-up rotation. First set, we're going to do typical push-up rotation, so I like to go wide with the feet for an extra base. You're going to explode on the way up. You're going to resist with the weight on the way down. Make sure you always look and you turn your head and you look at the dumbbell as you go up. So it's a push-up, it's a rotation, and you resist on the way down. That'll be the first set. The second set is exactly the same, but we turn it into a 1 1/4 push-up before you do your rotation. So it looks like this. You're going to a quarter push-up, and then rotate, turn the dumbbell, and coming down. The last set, that will turn into a man maker. A man maker is a push-up, you row one arm, push-up, you row the other arm, you jump in, you're going to press the dumbbells up overhead, you're either going to do an alternating forward lunge or an alternating back lunge. It looks like this. Wide feet, push-up row, you jump in, press it up over the head, you're either going to go alternating forward or alternating back. Overhead lunge, right? And then you put those down on the ground and you go again. That's the first one. The second lot of exercise that I progress is the snatch. First round is a typical snatch. Like you've probably seen in my past tutorials, the power is all coming from the legs. Shoulder blades are back, dumbbell goes between the legs, try and keep that shoulder back as well. You squat down, nearly get to the ground, you're not running at your low back. The power comes from the legs, comes from the hip snap. You then release the dumbbell down to the shoulder, you put it down, and you go again. The next set, the snatches turn into snatch lunges. Again, I have gone through this in the past. It will either be a snatch and then a lunge, a snatch and then a lunge, typically with the same leg going back, or if you're in advance, snatch lunge in one movement. Like that. That's your snatch lunge. The last set, you turn into a clean into what's called a split jerk. So a split jerk is typically weights on the shoulder. As you go into a split, which is typically opposite leg forward, you are going to go down as the dumbbell goes up. So have a look. Do your normal snatch position, but we're going to clean it to the shoulder. Other hand's going to be out for balance. Do a little quarter squat as I there, and I walk back up. You can see as I went down, the dumbbell went up. So the total height of me doesn't really change much for where the dumbbell's going. The dumbbell might only get to here instead of all the way up from a tall person. So watch as I go down. And I come back up. So you can see it's a split jerk. So in full time, it looks like this. Clean, split jerk. Again. Clean, split jerk. That's the last progression on that one. The exercise we want to run through, which stays consistent, is called a single-legged row curl to press. There's two different progressions I want you to try. And you get my 10s to demonstrate. The first level, you're going to get into a split stance. A split stance is a moderate lunge position, but enough that the back heel is up in the air. I want you to hinge at the hips enough, should be 45 degrees for most people, that you can feel a stretch in that front hamstring. I'm not losing the arch in the low back, I'm not losing the arch in the upper back, and I want you to try a row. You finish the row, you sit up without straightening that front knee. From that position, you go into a curl. We're going to go into a lunge and press. You may need to at this stage, because you're not on one leg, you may need to go into a longer stance. As you lunge, you press, and you come back. You're then going to drop it down, see I still haven't straightened my front leg. I might shorten that back leg a little bit more to go into my next rep. It is a hinge. I really feel that load on my hamstring, my glutes, on my front leg. I row. I use my glutes to sit up without straightening that leg. I curl. I adjust my back leg. I lunge and press at the same time. Now the advanced version is balancing on one leg. Really, really good exercise in the 35 seconds. We're only going to get about 5 or 6 reps, but a really, really good exercise. Targets every muscle. So, balance on one leg. Soften the front knee. The key is to soften that front knee, it never straightens. If it straightens, the glute's going to get a break, the hamstring's going to get a break. We want it on a constant load. You're going to hinge at the hips. Again, 45 degrees burnout, so I feel that load in the hamstrings. I'm going to do a row. I finish the row. I sit up. Again, I have not straightened that front leg. bicep curl. Now, we can plant our leg and get a nice long lunge. So we're in a good position to lunge and press. This is key to come up to that soft knee. Do not straighten, your glutes will be on fire if this is done right. You go straight into the next rep. What I typically do, you see me do on my bad side, just typically my right leg, is that if you're struggling with balance, I would just always use taps to regain. Don't give up on this exercise. People will get frustrated, they'll be all over the place and then give up. You'll see me struggle, you'll see me go, I'll show you now. As I fold over, I'm a little bit wobbly, I might tap to regain my balance from about 4. I'm going to row. I'm still stable, I'm going to 4, stabilize, come up, don't give up, curl, back lunge, press. Those are the progressions for those 3 main exercises that go into each set. Now you're ready to jump into the workout.